That's going?
Yeah.
Well, good morning everybody. Buenos dias. Bienvenidos. Welcome to our continuous presentation of a little tour webinar on Mexico. Today we'll be talking about what happens in the state of Chiapas. Moving. Just do that. The slides are not moving. There it is. Of course, you know, those of you who've been around know that we've been doing this since 1975 when I first drove around the area. And all of our staff have been too there, and we go back on a regular basis. Letitia, actually, from our office, is going to spend her honeymoon there in a week or two. So we love this area and we love what we're doing. Mexico City is the capital of Mexico. How many states are there in Mexico?
33.
33. Unidos?
Yes.
Mexico de Unidos.
Todos Mexicanos Unidos.
Did you know that? Mexican, like the United States of Mexico. Population's about 118 million. We don't need a visa at the moment. Famous for tequila, mariachis, those funny guys that do that wrestling, you see, and the Day of the Dead, which is in November. We're going to see a whole lot of, or just start the Mayan area, which will be entering the Mayan Empire. We don't need visas, of course. Any time is a good time to go. The Northern Hemisphere summertime is our winter time here. So it can get very hot in June and July. So just be aware of that. You know, Queensland weather in December, January, the opposite, if you like, so just to sort of give you an idea of weather. But any time is a good time to travel. You know that we've got lots of connections via Los Angeles. You can come in through South America, quite a few air passes, constructions through Central America, or even travel overland. Mexican peso runs about 15 pesos to the dollar at the moment. So we started off in Mexico City a couple of weeks ago. We visited Puebla and Oaxaca. So now we're going into the state of Chiapas. In a little bit I'll show you the map. This is a continuing ancient cultures itinerary. It can be, you can break these itineraries up into sections depending on your client's time and budget. So we're entering Chiapas. We can travel overland by bus from Oaxaca to Tuxtla, or you can fly into the capital, Tuxtla, which is here. So Oaxaca state next door. And we're travelling, we have had, excuse me, people travelling overland from Mexico, through Chiapas, Palenque, up to Campeche, Merida, and finish up in Cancun. Today, we're visiting this. So arriving, we don't stay in Tuxtla at all. We don't need to, but it's just a gateway for the bus terminus and all the airfares. And by the way, too, we can run these itineraries in both directions. So we'll visit the Chiapas de Corazon, which is a Sumidero Canyon. You'll see that in a little bit. The beautiful colonial city of San Cristobal, and nearby two small little villages of Chamula and Zinacantan, and the indigenous people there. Overland through Agua Azul, and we'll finish up in Palenque, most beautiful ruins, and all this is very mountainous. The other thing we can do in the itineraries is cross into Guatemala via Bonampak ruins, and also via down this border here into Antigua and Lake Atitlan. And so all this is very possible and practical, and we've got some great ground operators that help us and our clients, and buses and private transfers and cars, and great guides. Okay. So the Chiapas is a state and this is the start, on this area is the start of the Mayan world. And because where last week, you might remember, we did Oaxaca, and that the Zapotecas were in that particular area, and the ruins are completely different to the ones we're going to see in the Mayan world. So this is their start, this area, if you like. We're going to see indigenous people that are from the different villages, and there's quite a few in the state of Chiapas. Churches, of course, and there's a mixture of colour and dress and food, and that's quite exciting. So our first visit is this to just a boat ride. It takes about an hour to ride through this amazing canyon called the Sumidero Canyon. It was a geological fault millions of years ago. At the moment it has a dam at one end, and they use the water for irrigation in this particular area. The river, which I still have trouble pronouncing, Grijalva, my little assistant's at the back here, Anna, making sure I'm doing the right thing. So it's there's a few birds, there's a few alligators in this area, crocodiles, there's little shrines, and the sightseeing, apart from the natural area, of course. This is an old waterfall that's been running for thousands of years, and it's created this little umbrella, if you like, of the ground and moisture. So that's the sightseeing. This takes about an hour and a half, and then we hop on our buses, and from Sumidero Canyon we head to the village or the town of San Cristobal. It's about an hour's drive from there. And again, you know, I'm biased to all these beautiful colonial cities and towns, and San Cristobal is no exception. Beautiful little plaques and plazas and plazitas, of course lots of churches. And what I find that there they are there. This is the main plaza here. It's sort of divided into a little bit in that area here, and the streets then run off in all sorts of directions. And they have they blocked off. Every time I come back there's another street that's been blocked off, and they made them into pedestrian lanes. And of course this is just a delight wandering around these buildings, because there's shopping, of course, great food, restaurants, music, pubs and clubs for those who want to go out, and some really nice hotels that are within walking distance, so nothing's too far away to explore one. It's just a general, there's no ruins or nothing that's special. It's just a lovely colonial town with lots of colour. Nearby we visit two groups of Indians. One's called the Chamulas, which are here, and they wear this dark colours in the city surrounding. They work with their fields. They're mainly farmers, and what these group of people have done is they actually, quite a long time ago, I can't remember when, they threw out the Catholics and the priests, if you like. They used the church, and the seating's all gone out, and they celebrate and make offerings to their own gods, which they've been doing traditionally. So it's an interesting mixture of, they're using the Catholic Church premise, if you like, but they do their own offerings to their own gods. Lots of candles, lots of incense, and for those who don't want to know, they do little sacrifices with chickens or chooks, and that's the way they celebrate. There's lots of alcohol drunk and spilt in the area, but to them that's the way they celebrate. So it's quite unique. We're lucky to have this photo because they're not allowed to take photos. So these are the Chamula people. They're farmers, and they have a great market nearly every second day or every day in this area. That from the surrounding hills they come and barter amongst themselves and sell their goods and services and fruit and vegetables and animals. Very colourful, and lots of art and craft too. So apart from the fruit and veg, there's art, craft, mainly weaving, a little bit of pottery, quite interesting. On the other side, about 5 or 6 kilometres away, perhaps not more, beautiful countryside, is the Zinacantan group. And these people are completely different, again, in their colours, and their colours are quite bright, and they're weaving. I don't know, can I go backwards? So the Chamula people have got these dark colours and these very heavy skirts, if you like, and the men wear these sheep clothing, skins, and these particular groups are very light and bright in their colour, and they also have a church, but they didn't throw the Catholics out, and they saw the priests in the so tiny small village. Mainly they grow. Last time I was there, lots of flower gardens and roses. You go into the different shops and you can sort of see how they weave and also get dressed up. That's me there, by the way. Ceremonial dress. I think they tried to marry us off again, but Judy said no. So once we visit this particular town and explore that, about 2 or 3, probably 3-hour drive is we come across these waterfalls called the Agua Azul waterfalls. It's a combination of a river and it's the sediment from the local, the mountains and then the foliage, if you like, comes through. And there's quite a few steps down in this particular area. I'm sorry, I'm going back. We've got to go back again. Sorry, my fingers that way. Yeah. So we spent about an hour and a half wandering around. You can go for a dip in some of those. There's little rock pools around the area, and so you can just sort of relax because it's quite warm, quite pleasant. And the river then just becomes a normal river after I don't know, about a kilometre worth of falls, but not big falls as you can see. Just a nice relaxing area. As I said, we maybe stop for an hour and then continue on to the most beautiful ruins described in the Mayan world, the Palenque ruins. The Mayan ruins all over this particular area, I'll show you in a map in a minute, they evolved over hundreds of years and they moved, and people wanted to know why. We're in the mountain, we're right on the edge of the Chiapas state, and coming out of the mountains, and in front of us as we drive and go towards Campeche, Merida, Cancun, it's all just very flat, the whole lot. But in all these areas where the Mayans have built their different cities, towns, surrounded by farmlands, and Palenque is not just one of them on the edge of this particular area. Started off about 200 BC, 250, and they all had the height of the epoch, if you like, where the plazas, towers, pyramids that were built. So you can imagine the population in this particular area. I'm trying to think of that film that I did. I was going to write it down, but this is where it will come to me in a minute. Mel Gibson's and that film, and this is where you're going to see in the next couple of presentations of the Mayan. The beautiful buildings, and inside they found tombs also. So it was a capital of the area, but underneath they found this incredible tomb of the Pakal king of the Mayans. And a lot of that now is a replica in the museum in Mexico City. The mask, remember last week we had a jade mask, that they found another one here. And of course they think they go on to another world, so they leave all this this beautiful art and craft and help to pass through to the other side. So that's deep down in one of these temples here. Just a delightful area to wander around in, and nearby we have the Yaxchilan ruins. So people who are interested in Mayan, this is the place there. And the other one nearby, it's about an hour and 2 hours away towards the border of Guatemala, is the Bonampak ruins. And these are famous for this beautiful murals. They're the only ones in the whole area, ruins, that actually still have got this colour, because all the other areas have been washed out over just by time. So they're quite beautiful, and they're in this particular jungle area, 2-hour drive, really close to the border. Now so this is the Mayan Empire. So we've arrived in Tuxtla, we've travelled to San Cristobal. We visited the indigenous little villages of Chamula, Zinacantan, and we travelled overland to Palenque. So the Mayan Empire is all this, so it extended. We can travel, those people who are really interested, we can travel overland into Guatemala, Tikal ruins. Belize have got the Caracol ruins, they're quite large, and in Honduras the Copan ruins. So all this area is known as the Mayan Empire. So it's quite and historians tell us they moved from one area to another area to build due to all sorts of phenomena like droughts and floods and all sorts of things. So and each set of ruins has got a different slightly different structure in design and art and the reliefs on the walls that they've designed. One of the most other beautiful ruins that we'll see later on is Uxmal up here. So that's the Mayan Empire, and that's the introduction. Itineraries run in both directions. Historical buffs. Okay, great food as always in this particular area. We have, you know that the Mexicans, the chocolate comes from Mexico, and this is the places to taste it for. This particular drink's called Posh. I've got it right. It's made from corn, quite strong. Just need one, and that'll do. And of course the tamale here that you see. And we found out that this is?
Tasajo. Tasajo de pepita.
It's made up of. So great foods to taste, and we encourage people to go out and enjoy that sort of thing. So great things to do and see, from spectacular canyons to ruins to Indians to colour and food and great hotels. So this is a suggested itinerary for this particular area, and clients can continue on. You can buy that as a section. You can fly into Tuxtla and fly out of Villahermosa, which is on the border just up here, and so the people can just do all that, or continue overland to Campeche. We have our itinerary continues overland through there, and then via Uxmal to Merida, and spend quite a bit of time in that area here. So that gives you an idea. Again, at the same time, we can cross itineraries into Guatemala and visit that particular area here. So that's the sort of thing. Now we're going to wind up with our new brochure coming up soon. We've just seen it, the printing's finished and they're binding it right now, so they'll be available in a week or two, the printer tells me. And in that brochure we have really great ideas and things to do for your clients. So we're travelling overland from Mexico all the way to Cancun, and quite an easy add-on into Havana and Cuba to do, pre or post. So, and again, this is a suggested itinerary. People have got more time, slow it down, add an extra night anywhere around here, and just go and explore just a beautiful area. The Mayan ruins, we do self-drive holidays in the Yucatan also. So there's going to be 5 or 6 pages on Mexico and Central America coming out in this new brochure. Why book with us? Because we've been doing it for a long time, and we love our area, we love the people we work with, and we can guarantee our services. And this is very important to know, that your clients can go away in the outback of the Chiapas state and be looked after. If anything goes wrong, bad weather, flights cancelled, a little bit of sickness, the local guides will look after your clients, and with great confidence we can guarantee our services. So we have some really good people to do, and it's a great destination, as I said. Now, to win a spot into our fam trip, we have to have a trick question for you. What colour were the waterfalls? That's an easy one for you today. So thank you very much for your time. I wish you well, and I hope you have all a nice weekend, and may your football team win. Bye for now. Ciao.